So this is Raj Vayapur. So I'm here to go over the RAG architecture in Azure AI and explain the key terms, and then dive into a small demo to show you how all these pieces works in Azure ecosystem. So RAG is a retrieval-augmented generation. So basically, it personalizes your AI system by retrieving your company's data, such as policy standards, to give you a clear and personalized answer. And the chunking, as you see in the visual, it breaks the large document into smaller and meaningful parts called chunks, so that it's easy to search and then you can use when you ask questions. And enrichment adds helpful details to those chunks, like section titles, summaries, categories, and so on. And the embedding basically turns each chunk into numbers that represent its meaning, so the AI can understand and compare them. And persisting means saving those chunks with their numbers so they can be used later in AI search. So when a user submits a query, the system retrieves relevant chunks from Azure AI Search and then passes them to Azure AI Search and generates the answer. So that's simple. So let's dive into the demo. So before that, I want to share two documents. This is the first document what I created. This is like a company PTO policy document where you see a few things like the yearly cap is 40 hours, the negative balance is not allowed, and I also included an employee data, like myself, Raj Vayapur, so my PTO balance is 40 hours, and then I used 30 hours of PTO already this year. And then if the other file what we would be using in this project is this image file. So it would be reading content from this image. So these are the two files. So now let's go into, so this is my Azure test environment. So what I did was I created an Azure storage account, and then I created a container. So inside that container called Raj storage container, so I uploaded these two documents, what I just showed you in the blob storage. And then I created an OpenAI service so that I can use that in our RAG project. And then I created also Azure AI Foundry. And then underneath I created a project for that. And then if I go to my Azure Foundry portal, so there what I did was I deployed the AI models like GPT-4 and text embedding 3 small. That's what I'm using for this project. And then this is, I also created the AI search service. And then I created an index. If I go to this index like multimodal, so this multimodal index, it uses both the text file, what you saw, and also the image file. And then you see the storage and the vector index, the max storage, what's allowed, and so on. So now, it's all indexed. So now if I search like PTO balance, it's gonna give me, it's gonna extract all that file. And if you go down a little bit, you can see all the content text and also the content embedding here. Now if I go to the image file, like TOGAF framework, if you see here, I can see the content text, a circular diagram illustrating the faces and interaction within the architecture, so on. And also I see the content embedding here. So it's all indexed nicely. So now what I did was, I went to my Azure Foundry, I created a chatbot here, and then I connected to our index, our AI search, what we have created, which is using our multimodal index, what you just saw. And now I can go ahead and I can ask some questions, right? So I can say, what is Raj's PTO balance? So it's giving me 40 hours. What is, tell me about TOGAF framework. So it's reading the image file and it's giving me the answers. See, it's giving me all the answers. So now let me ask a question which does not exist. Like, tell me about Gartner framework. Yeah, see, it's saying that information is not available. So yeah, that's a simple demo. As you see that so the same concepts can be extended to build more sophisticated AI systems. So instead of using just files, you can connect to structured or unstructured data sources such as JSON files, SQL databases, or even NSQL platforms like MongoDB. You can integrate with custom Python code to pre-process data, fine-tune models, do some advanced orchestration pipelines and so on. So you can, this is a simple demo to give you some idea how all these things works. That's all. Thank you.